So Cypher 2023 is buzzing right now, and one of the best things about the event is the networking that you get to do with all these experts, and you get to pose your questions, right? You get to pose your questions about your fears, your aspirations, and all that you think is believable and could happen with AI and the latest in tech right now. Let's go and talk to these experts and get to know more.
Hi, I'm with Katie Stein, Chief Strategy Officer and Global Business Leader, Enterprise Services and Analytics at Genpact. Hi, Katie.
Nice to meet you.
Katie, can you tell me, how do you see AI reshaping traditional industries, and what are the key strategies for businesses to harness its potential?
As I've mentioned, I think we're in sort of a bimodal world where there's a number of here and now use cases that actually can be operationalized in the enterprise that maybe don't reflect a shift wholesale in the strategy, but as we talked about with Amusement Buddy, that actually change the experience that an individual has when they go visit an amusement park, and how therefore that can drive higher sales, higher retention and revisits. Many use cases like that appearing at the moment. Some organizations are stepping back and challenging really how their business and what their products will be in the future. If I think about, I mentioned Slack. So Slack, little known fact, stands for searchable logs of all communication and knowledge. So we think of it as search, but now when they'll embed later this year generative AI deeply into their product, it's an entirely new product. It changes the way we can collaborate. Not only do I have to go in and search, but I can go in and look at the trending in the last 5 hours. I can look at a semantic search through generative AI of what really is happening in my organization, so that I can then lean into that and collaborate more with my organization. So really product innovation.
Oh, okay. Can you share some real-world examples of how Genpact is leveraging AI and analytics to drive innovation and create value for its clients?
Yeah, so we're using it in many areas, both internally and with our customers. An obvious use case that we're seeing materialize is really in the software development or data engineering space, where now we can take pre-existing code and migrate it to the cloud and rewrite that code in a modern language using generative AI to help us understand the homegrown systems that were in place before. And this is very true in very complex organizations. We're using it in life sciences R&D, where speed is critical, and we can use it to search publicly available information to accelerate the R&D life cycle and time to drug discovery. So many different use cases across all industries.
Great. What ethical considerations and responsible AI practices should organizations prioritize to ensure a sustainable and equitable future?
So I think there's various journeys that we're going through, and as I said, this is a full value chain attack. Organizations individually have to address this as well as an ecosystem, and you're seeing various associations and ecosystem groups emerge that are very relevant. But first is really trust. So do we trust the results? Do we trust that there isn't bias? Do we trust that it's inclusive? And that's something that we have to grapple with in how we think about the data that's being used and the training of these models. And I think transparency is where the industry has to go, which given the open source nature is great. The second is bad actors. What we're learning very quickly is bad actors capitalize on all trends, and that's happening also here with regards to the models. And so how do we as an industry work to combat bad actors? And the third then I think is really around culture. At the end of the day, we're talking about a movement that will impact every employee, every individual. And so how do we create a responsible culture in our organizations and our communities to make sure that as society we are educating and training these models, these generative AI accompaniments for the future?
All right. Okay, great. And one last question. Can you share your thoughts on Cypher and what is your impression of it?
Oh, this has been fantastic. I arrived this morning, so I'm looking forward to the agenda that I've seen for today. But the topics are far-reaching and so relevant to now. Seeing the sponsors, whether it's Shell, and I heard they talked about sustainability yesterday, which is critical in their industry, or Genpact and Fractal and Deloitte. I mean, just such leading brands driving the conversation here. And the energy and enthusiasm is contagious.
Okay. Yeah, good. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
Anushka. Hi, I'm with Mr. Himagiri Gedela, Head of Projects at Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, HAL. Hello, sir. Can you tell us what strategic planning initiatives has HAL undertaken to enhance efficiency and ensure future sustainability in a rapidly evolving industry?
See, HAL has always been at the forefront of technology. And to emphasize this, we have our new production facilities which are coming up. Particularly, I can talk about the plant in Tumkur near Bangalore, where we are trying to build the helicopters. We are making a greenfield factory for that there. So here it is not just about the machines or people there. We are trying to include the technologies. It is a industry 4.0 ready helicopter factory, where we are trying to mix the power of data, AI, and all the other technologies of industry 4.0 to create a new technology, to create the new product with sustainability.
Could you provide some insights into how HAL is incorporating cutting edge technologies into its production processes to meet the demands of modern aerospace manufacturing?
See, with respect to the technology part, HL has been using all these technologies, be it the simulation or AI, in the design or in the product. So we have been using these technologies maybe to create a better product or improve the reliability of the systems, or be it for the predictive analytics for improving our service levels. So this was being used for the product. But when we come to the managerial aspect of it, how to manage the production lines, how to establish the capacities of the factory, how to improve our capacities, this is something we are looking into now. So recently we have started using simulation models and artificial intelligences to look into how we can improve our production facilities without worrying about what is happening in the, no, I think this will change it this way.
Yeah. You can go through that again.
Same question, I will start again.
Yes, you can start again.
Yes.
You want me to read it?
Working on design. In the design, we have been using the technologies, be it for reducing the fatigue on the pilots or improving the product. So this is something which has been always there. But now we are looking at how to manage this production. So how to include these technologies to improve our production lines or to manage our production better, and how to create strategic advantage using these technologies. That is what we are looking for, and we are working on it now.
And could you share your thoughts on your time in Cypher? How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I really felt very good, and the moment someone has approached me from Cypher to talk here, the kind of planning that was done, it was simply meticulous. I look at every great detail has been taken care of, and I see that even you have been using AI for your apps, so it's really wonderful. I really liked it.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope it was insightful and everything that you are looking for. I'm just breaking for a coffee, but I'm also making sure that you don't miss out on anything. And my colleagues are out there and making sure that you get to learn and get your questions answered from all these experts here at the event. Head on over. No, sorry. My bad.
How do you think this kind of event is helping the data community out?
Cypher provides us with a great platform where we can interact with individuals, where we connect with individuals, and basically even understand how what is going across the world in this new interactive technologies like generative AI and LLMs. So even we get a chance to even source startups for our organization which are in sync with our vision and strategy, and additionally our business stakeholders can leverage the outside in perspective which will help them to drive change in their customer experiences, to the working efficiencies, and which will eventually lead to minimize the risk in the top lines.
And how the group data and analytics team is enabling strategic engagement with events like Cypher and helping creating value for conglomerate like Aditya Birla Group and its stakeholders.
Okay. So I think in today's data-driven world, the Aditya Birla Group is at the forefront of analytics-led value creation. Thanks to its continuous and agile evolution, in the ways of working, in the ways of engaging with our external ecosystem, partner ecosystem, the group data and analytics team, that is the central team of think tanks at ABG. We are here not only to create and build platforms within the business, but also to act as a bridge in between the key partners like AIM and the business across ABG, so that they can come here, they can actually see how the analytics world is booming, what is there to look around, and how we can follow that. So I think join us in our journey as we explore how we participate in these events and see what is the value and how we can create the intangible and tangible value across the stakeholders, across the businesses.
Impacting the workforce today.
I mean, AI is obviously transforming our lives, right? So I think it's shaping, or rather reshaping, every part of work that you can imagine. I think AI is making our lives easier. I think there is a general fear that AI is going to take away our jobs. It is going to displace, our current, situation and all that. I think if you dive deep into what's really happening, AI is only making our lives easier. AI is actually augmenting the way we work. So I see AI adding a lot of value in us becoming more productive, us becoming more innovative, and I also see that AI is opening up new avenues of job opportunities. I think there are job roles that did not exist maybe 1 year ago that currently exist today, and pretty much the entire world is rushing towards it, right? I mean, I'm talking about Gen AI, I'm talking about prompt engineering, for example, as a job role, right? So I think while there is a general fear of AI, kind of taking over our lives, I only see the positive side of it. I really see AI augmenting our lives. I think we just need to ensure the current workforce is upskilled, reskilled, ensure that we are prepared to face this AI transformation and revolution. We have to ride along this wave. I don't think we should get impacted by this in any way.
And are there any specific strategies that organizations should adopt to navigate the AI revolution and ensure a smooth transition for the employees?
I think a very important question that needs to be addressed. So my point of view is, look at the organizational culture first. You really need to address the culture part before you implement any AI solution. By culture, what I mean is how honest are you with your associates, right? How are you openly talking about AI not displacing their jobs, but rather going to help them in the future? How are you communicating the vision of your organization? Why are you even implementing these AI systems in the first place? And how can an employee play a role in the success of that AI implementation, right? So address the culture first. That is very, very critical. And after that comes, I think you really need to ensure, people talk about responsible AI. So you really need to ensure that there is fairness, transparency, accountability, privacy, security, all these foundational pillars of responsible AI, right? So you need to ensure that you have a solid governance of AI. and you need to ensure you implement it, make it successful, and at the same time focus on upskilling, reskilling, your learning and development programs to ensure you're taking your employees along. As the organization evolves into an AI-driven company, your company employees also need to evolve. So ensure that you create a platform for learning and development and innovation, and at the same time ensure that you're being responsible about it.
Well, can you share examples of companies that have successfully embraced AI to enhance their workforce and drive innovation in the workplace?
So you're asking about companies that have successfully implemented AI solutions. I think there are a lot, and I can specifically talk about retail. If you go to, I'm sure you've shopped on Flipkart. So if you go to Flipkart.com, Flipkart is a marketplace, right? So there are a lot of sellers that get onboarded into the Flipkart marketplace, and a lot of sellers are very small, right? They're probably in like a remote corner of India. They're trying to sell their products, which could be handicrafts, which could be maybe apparel, clothes, and all that, right? So they are not big enough for them to hire a model, shoot images, do a lot of these things for their product to be up on Flipkart's website. AI has actually helped them. Flipkart uses generative AI to create model images, to create product images, and that's how they use it on their website, right? So, and I don't know if you remember I think this was Diwali 2021, there was a Cadbury's ad where I think it was Shah Rukh Khan who was kind of speaking for Diwali, and I think that was actually, I forget the name of the company, I think it's the Rephrase.ai or some company, but they enabled all these Kirana stores to be able to use AI to sell their items during Diwali, in the market that they operate in. And Shah Rukh was their ambassador, right? So fantastic use of AI. So I can definitely think of a lot of examples where AI has really transformed. But in retail specifically, I think I spoke about Flipkart. There are a lot of other, e-commerce players that have, used product copywriting using AI. They're also using a lot of your personalization line recommendation systems on the e-commerce websites. These are all AI powered, right? So these have completely transformed the way the retail operates. So these are examples that I can think of.
Last question, could you please share your thoughts on Cypher 2023?
Oh, Cypher. I think I was amazed entering into the convention center today. For a while I was taken aback by the number of people to begin with, right? I think it was just buzzing, a tremendous amount of energy. I think Cypher is growing by the year. I don't know if you're going to find a convention center in Bangalore that can accommodate the number of people next year, probably. So great job, Bhaskar and team. Great job, Analytics India magazine. I think the energy is infectious. I think great sessions, well curated. Lots of excellent speakers across industries. I really, think the topics are, very. I think it's all, making people think, making people interact. I see a lot of curious questions coming from the group. So I think great job. Kudos. Keep bringing this AI and analytics community together. But please find a bigger convention center next year, right? Because you're sure going to need it. Thank you.
Yeah. So first question, what role does AI play in reshaping the future of work, and how is it impacting the workforce today?
Yeah.
I think it's a very, very interesting question. The reason being that if you look at AI, it is kind of pervasive, okay? Every part of the organization is in some way or the other going to be imbibing AI. So if you look at like the whatever the latest trends actually we are seeing, every analyst is kind of highlighting that every job which we do, at least 80% of it, like there is some way of AI can be applied there or not. Okay, that's the important thing. And some of the analysis also says that some of the functions, like let's say software development or product development, and then sales and marketing, operations, supply chain, HR, finance. So pretty much like most of these business functions will have like some way or the other actually you can actually apply AI, which effectively means that in the HR function you have a lot of job description which are there for different roles, right? So you need to look at like within the job description, what is that AI is going to bring in, right? And some of these things could be automated, some of these things could be manual. So we are actually going to have every role which will be prefixed by or a suffixed by AI. That's how the future is going to be. I mean, you can call like I am a marketing manager with specialization in AI. I am a product manager with specialization in AI, right? I am a software developer who knows how to use AI, right? So it's going to be like every role will have a prefix or a suffix with respect to AI. So that's how the future is going to be from a role perspective. So to actually kind of bring that, I think every organization needs to have the right kind of framework in terms of learning and development, in terms of like the innovative atmosphere actually you can provide, so that it's not like only one part of the organization will innovate. It is like the entire organization itself has to innovate. So that kind of a platform is very much required.
Well, are there any specific strategies that organizations should adopt to navigate the AI revolution and ensure a smooth transaction for the employees? Transition for the employees.
Definitely. So, see, it is like from a leadership point of view, they can always say that, hey, we need to be a driven company or a data-driven company, right? That's a and data should be kind of driving every decision. That's actually very important, right? So, with that being the mandate, we need to look at like what are those different alignments we need within the organization, right? For example, you need business alignment, you need technology alignment, you need process alignment, you need like people alignment, you need regulatory alignment. So there are like multiple alignments actually you need to have within the organization to kind of drive that basically. So take business alignment itself. So today you have a business model. This is the way actually you earn your revenue. This is how actually you get your profit, right? That's what business is all for. Now, by applying AI, like how can you actually reinvent your business model, right? That's actually very important. One is like reinvent your existing model, create new business models. So that's one interesting thing you can look at. Then comes what is important is like your technology alignment, right? So you need to look at like from the plethora of actually technologies which are actually available, you need to see like how actually you can actually take some of those technologies in and make it as part of your technology stack, which is kind of little long term. That is actually very important. The third dimension is the process alignment. So you have like different business process running in your organization. So unless and until actually you bring in AI and integrate it with your current process, it cannot be something which exists outside. It has to be dovetailed into your current process. Only then it is going to be successful. So define your business process with AI interventions and make it your new process, right? The fourth dimension is your people alignment. So that is where actually you need to see like what are those new roles you're actually going to create within the organization. How existing roles will transform to kind of deliver the business outcome actually you are looking at. How do we ensure like people are like more forthcoming to embrace AI than actually being saying that hey, this is something which might harm me and those kind of stuff. So you kind of need to avoid that. The fifth dimension is your regulatory alignment, because more and more laws will get passed across the world. European Union will have its own law, America will have its own law, India will have its own law. So you need to kind of assimilate all these things and then see like, can we create some best practices out of these and make it as part of your regular AI deployments so that you are actually having very, very less risk in the system or no risk in the system. So that's actually the way to go.
And last question, could you please share your thoughts on Cypher and how was the experience here at the event?
I think Cypher is like I attended last year as well, and prior to that, I think there was a virtual event as well, so attended some of that as well. So Cypher actually brings in like a different kind of persona into the, kind of collaborate in a one platform. So there is something in it for everyone. So for example, you have session which is mostly vision related, leadership related, business model related, right? That's one session. Then you have something specific for solution architects and others, business analysts, those kind of roles. Then the next one would be like you also have for technology roles as well, actually you have. So pretty much actually it covers like the different personas actually which are required to actually deliver something for AI. And we have like something for everything, that's what I would say.
2023, and there's no fatigue. All these experts and all the people here are really enthusiastic and they really want to get in on this AI revolution. We are here live with JC as promised, and you spoke about testing the limits of chatbots. What do you mean by that and how do you go about that?
So the field of AI is moving so quickly. We can all interface with these systems like ChatGPT and Bard and other models that we learn about, and then a few months later we come back and try to use the same product in the same way, and it's completely different. So the idea here is not to figure out exactly today what the models are capable of, because that's not particularly interesting. Even if you're building a product for your company right now, you want to build it in advance of what the models will be able to do. So this is thinking of a framework for how to evaluate these models, what metrics should you be looking at, what benchmarks should you use, what tests should you run in order to follow along with progress as it advances.
Okay. One of the things that you spoke about is also how to go about prompting these models, right? What would you suggest? How would it work at its maximum capacity, and how to go about that?
So the main general lesson for prompting is to start with the most direct way to ask about what you're interested in, and then iterate with the model to learn what it's getting wrong and how you can modify for that. So for example, a lot of people right now are trying to add chain of thought prompting. A chain of thought is where you ask it to think step by step through a problem, walk you through each iteration. And this works well for some problems where you need this sort of complicated chain of logic and each thing follows from the other, but it works pretty poorly when you want some more intuitive, quick reasoning from the model, or you just don't want to fool around with having to read a bunch of text, you want it to work quickly. So you might want to tell the model, don't give me a long answer in one word or one sentence or something like that. And you're able to adapt that once you've seen what the model can do in the first place, because these models take you very literally. And often we don't know what to ask for, so we'll ask it in the wrong way, and you've got to sort of finesse and massage it into knowing what you actually want.
So what do you think right now is a top-notch model, and are they any different, or are they do they serve different purposes, right?
So in terms of raw, unfettered power, GPT-4 is the state of the art right now for almost all benchmarks. However, for many problems today, we don't need just pure power. We want a model that's going to be able to interact with us, communicate, that's going to know what we mean, that's going to behave well. Often AI researchers talk about being helpful, harmless, and honest. So for example, Anthropic is a company that has a model, Claude.
Yeah.
It's not as popular as ChatGPT, but it's very well behaved. So it gives you what you want, how you want it, even if it isn't capable of answering all the standardized test questions that GPT-4 might be able to. And then increasingly people are creating specific models to their organization that know, let's say, the internal documentation or know about your audience and are able to provide more customized responses.
Also, Anthropic has been raising a lot of like investments lately, and it's almost as at par with OpenAI in the beginning, right? As much as they have raised billions right now. And what do you think about that? And are they overvaluing themselves right now? And how would they go about making a profitable business model out of it?
So a very common trend with emerging technologies is to see some ambitious, creative, risk-taking startups create the first iterations of a product and then find the logistics, find the support, find the infrastructure from big companies. So for example, I used to study food technology, and with these small startups that create some new product like plant-based meat burgers, instead of beef burgers, they then want to work with some large food company to get access to all their distribution channels and to expand their audience and their product and their revenue and all those things. I think we're going to see that inevitably with AI. There's so much infrastructure that goes into place. For example, with Microsoft, you've got Microsoft Office. With Google, you have search, and each of these are areas where you're going to want to integrate language models. So you're going to continue seeing even more startups than there are today, not just OpenAI and Anthropic, but new ones like those that are doing some new take on these systems. Because ultimately what we want is this cornucopia of every different model for every different application you could want. We don't have that right now. We've got some models that work okay for different problems, and it's kind of tricky to sort between them, but you want something usually that's specific to your application. So I'm excited to see Anthropic expanding. I think Anthropic is taking those ethical issues very seriously, and that's what I'm most excited about. But I also think that we need more people focused on not just creating more and more powerful models, but using that compute from giants like Amazon and Microsoft to create more specific applications where we can understand the AI and use it safely and robustly.
Definitely. And quickly, what's hot at Sentience right now? What's happening?
At the Sentience Institute?
Yeah.
So we're doing a lot of research on human-AI interaction. We're trying to understand the rise of digital minds, sort of what it means to have a technology that's not just a tool that we sort of use, that takes action exactly how we want it to, but it's kind of unpredictable. I often describe AI as being less like engineering a bridge and more like growing a plant in your garden. We don't know exactly what we're going to get out of it. We've got to kind of learn what dishes does it taste best in, how do we use it, is it safe, like growing some new plant entirely. So we're trying to understand that from a human-computer interaction perspective. We run experiments and surveys like what do Americans think about sentient AI, what factors, what different features of AIs are going to make people interact in different ways, so that ultimately we get to understand how to build AI safely, how people are going to interact with these really, really crazy systems. Because I do think ultimately the world's going to get very weird. It's already getting weird with ChatGPT, and that's only going to get stranger.
Yeah. So talking about hot topics again, right? Convergence of art and AI is a hot topic right now, and it has people divided all over the place. And AI, we have AI art here at Cypher, and it's truly fascinating. We also talk about the convergence of cultures and technology, and we try and create a lot of these artworks which are really fascinating. And what do you think of art created by AI? Is there some confusion and some, it's a topic of debate, right? What's your take on it?
Yeah, so one of the most famous paradoxes in AI is called Moravit's paradox. And it's the idea that the initial things that we thought AI was going to be very good at, like rule-based, cold, calculating logic, are not actually what it's been able to do. Instead, it's able to take these very, what we call high-dimensional objects, so things that are very rich and complicated. Art has so many different patterns that we sort of intuitively grasp as human beings, and it's able to make sense of those and actually perform really well. And what's special about art is you can make mistakes, and and that's okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought, self-driving cars was going to be the first big application of AI, and it has taken off to some extent. In San Francisco, I drive around them all the time, but that's a challenge because you need it to be 100% safe, or 99.999%. If your art is 97% correct, sure, fantastic. That 3% is probably where the interest comes in. So I actually think current AI systems, especially language models and diffusion models, which are used for visual art, are perfectly suited to creative pursuits.
Definitely. So that is all with this conversation from JC, and please do watch out for these artists who are creating amazing AI art, and let us know your views about this whole thing. Should artists be paid for their creations? What do you think?
Mic test.
Hi.
Mine's also audible, right? Okay. We'll start. Hi, I'm with Megha Sinha, Vice President AI/ML Practice at Genpact. Hi, Megha.
Hi.
Megha, can you tell me how does behavioral economics play a role in shaping the adoption of AI and ML practices within organizations?
See, I think the classical economics theories have failed to explain why people behave the way they do actually in real systems and in real life. And so we had to turn to the theories of behavioral economics to find answers to the irrationality and the bias that we have in decision-making processes. And behavioral economics has actually done a wonderful and a great job. When we make decisions as human beings, we are confronted with several biases that are at play. Now, when we formulate our strategies within organizations to embed and adopt AI at scale, we actually need to go to two sections of people within any economic landscape. That's the producers and the consumers. Now, in an organization, the producers need to come past all of those biases that people are facing, the consumers are facing, and the consumers need to get onboarded onto that entire schema of things to actually educate themselves or be educated or actually be resilient enough to be educated, because it's a long process. And therefore, if we formulate our models, if we formulate our strategies, and I'm talking about our business models, I'm talking about our strategic models, if these business and strategic models have behavioral economics theories and concepts underlay, we would actually be able to meet these people where they are and not actually try to create irrational beings into rational beings, which we have continued to do for several years, and we have seen no success. We have consistently opened the same Pandora box every year, discussed the same things, and never actually come to a consensus.
Can you provide examples of successful AI adoption strategies that leverage insights from behavioral economics to drive better decision making and user engagement?
Absolutely. So organizations across the world in different pockets, governments globally in different pockets, have tried to induce several of these concepts and theories into practice to actually increase adoption. When we talk typically about artificial intelligence itself, I think the choice architecture is a very good, grounded, solid concept that is based on the default bias. And that helps us to bring leaders and ask them to opt out of a certain AI adoption schema if they don't want to buy in, right? So what you're doing is you're creating a choice architecture where you're giving them a clear, simple, concise step, one after the other, which they have to go and opt out of, because AI adoption is the default, and you're actually pushing them Or rather, I would say not pushing them, but nudging them to make a decision in favor of AI.
And what challenges and opportunities do you foresee in applying behavioral economics principles to further accelerate AI adoption and ensure its successful integration into various industries?
I think it's a vicious circle. And why I say it's a vicious circle, because AI adoption itself has not been able to be where the innovation is because of lack of education. Similarly, when you talk about behavioral economics, it's a very, very complicated subject in itself. And you really need agents who understand behavioral economics to frame strategies and to frame models within organizations that would work on these principles. Now, classically, when you talk about AI systems, you have AI leaders, who are veterans in the space, analytics leaders who are veterans in the space. But now you will also need to bring behavioral economists into the game, into the ambit of things, to educate these AI leaders, bring them together, and then to formulate strategies that will drive success together.
And one last question, could you share your thoughts of your time at Cypher and what do you make of it?
Absolutely. This is my second Cypher, and I've always been excited to be here at Cypher. Obviously this year, as they say, it's grander and it's better, and I definitely feel the vibe. As opposed to last year, all talks this year have been about generative AI, models, what do we need to do about observability and large language models, so on and so forth. Yet, every piece of talk that's coming out is absolutely enlightening and enriching, and it's very, very good for the entire community to come together on a platform like this, speak, share ideas, interact, and go together for, as we say, solving the AI adoption alchemy.
Yeah, thank
Yeah, hi.
Can you tell me, could you share some insights into the Earth observation data sets available through the Boonidhi platform and how ISRO envisions AI and data science contributing to the generation of valuable insights from these data sets?
Right. So ISRO, whenever we speak about ISRO, people like think of Chandrayaan, Mangalyaan, etc. But a major component of ISRO is also in Earth observation. That means we derive a lot of insights from sending satellites and seeing what is happening on ground, right? And in the history and till now also we have been launching a lot of satellites which are observing Earth, and all the data is actually available on a portal called Boonidhi that you just mentioned, right? And with recent data policy, space data policy, most of the data is becoming free, right? And we have a lot of customers in India and outside as well, and they have been using our data for crop insurance, let's say mining exploration, oil and gas, energy exploration, and all of that, right? So this Earth observation data caters to a lot of domains, right? And every single industry, even the banking and finance, trading also, people do from satellite data sets. So Boonidhi is a go-to portal for Indian data in specific.
What specific applications or projects within the NISAR mission are demonstrating the potential of AI and data science in analyzing Earth observation data, and what are some notable outcomes or findings from these initiatives?
Right. So NISAR, when we speak of, it's the most expensive Earth observation satellite, and it's been built in close coordination with NASA and ISRO, right? It's almost $1.5 billion. And it's like the market cap of RBL Bank in India, right? So it's a very expensive satellite. And there have been a lot of outreach and training things also that have been done, especially to get insights out of this NASA ISRO synthetic aperture radar. Okay, the main benefit of this will be that it is a 12-day repetitive satellite, okay, and it has L and S band coverage. That means you can observe Earth in a radar in 2 different bands. And the main applications will be in geodynamics, where you can predict earthquakes or the landslides or the recent disaster that happened in Sikkim. That also you can kind of monitor all the glacial lakes, etc. And then there are good applications in forestry, agriculture, and all of that, right? So there are teams in India and US and across the world who are waiting for this satellite, and they are building algorithms to, especially in segmented markets, to use these satellite datasets.
Considering the vast and diverse data sets acquired through Earth observation, how does ISRO plan to collaborate with the broader scientific community and industries to leverage AI and data science for addressing global challenges and sustainable development using Bhunidhi data?
Right. So the thing is, I have to especially mention the recent data policy, right? So till now, what the data policy that we had was almost all the data was paid. Now almost every single data set that we have, good quality data set, is free, right? So especially mentioning Resource-Sat 2, Resource-Sat 2A, they offer 5-meter Earth observation coverage, right? 5-meter is not at all free in any part of the world. So in India, it is going to become free. And most of the users are buying the satellite data for different applications that, as I mentioned, right? So that single step is actually opening a lot of market, multi-million-dollar market across industries, right? So crop insurance, let's say, right? Pradhan Mantri Kisan Yojana is there, right? So that is there. And then you can also use this for disaster monitoring and all of that. So there are companies that are coming up, Earth observation companies. Now even the space industry is also gearing up for launching satellites wherever the gaps are there, and also utilizing this own satellites, right? So in that way, I think ISRO is actually opening up the whole space tech market to the world, and it is also collaborating very closely with startups. Keeping InSpace in mind. InSpace is an organization which is like a mediator and also a regulatory organization, right? So it is also taking in a lot of startups, and it is guiding these startups to use these data sets and build insights out of it and address target markets. Yeah.
And one last question, could you share your thoughts on Cypher and what do you make of it?
The Cypher, I just come today, I missed the yesterday, but whatever I have seen, right, it is very, my thing is, whatever technical conferences I attended, it is more than that, right? So we get to meet a lot of, people who are actually working on these markets, and also technical people are said, right? So it is kind of both. So we can understand the markets, we can understand the technical perspective as well. And the organization has been really great, really great.
So, Vishnu, can you share some examples of how Asana has effectively integrated humans and AI to streamline workflow?
See, Asana's job, like what we stand for, our mission is to streamline work. And we've been doing that for the last 15 years. AI is new to the team. We don't think of AI as a separate product. It's something that coexists and is part of Asana. So if Asana is helping people work better, AI is just going to play a small part. So one example is that one of the things that happened in Asana previously is you can send status updates of projects to whoever needs to see it. The data already exists in Asana. Earlier, people need to manually create it. Now, with AI joining the team, you can have a one-click generate that status update of the project automatically and send it to the same channel. So that is one example of how AI is helping reduce that work about work.
What are the key challenges you have encountered in achieving a seamless synergy between humans and AI, and how has Asana addressed these challenges?
That's a tough one. The challenge with work as such, it's very complex, right? Like the way we work is actually very complex. So very often what we need is to do the basics right. And so you can even just keep AI aside and just to fundamentally fix how we work is a lot of effort. And that's really what Asana is focused on. So the challenge is really getting people to move away from the inertia, the way they work right now, and adopt a new system. And we're hoping that with AI, that can be accelerated and that people can see the value that AI can also bring in reducing some of those works and accelerating work for them. That's a hope.
What are the trends you foresee in optimizing the collaboration between humans and AI to further enhance productivity and user experience in the workplace?
Oh, a big part, right? Like with AI, it's about again reducing the non-value add, the repetitive work that we do. But ultimately, we want AI to help human beings make better decisions. We need that context of the work that you're doing to be surfaced up to you at the right time. And an engine that runs in the background which can surface those insights to you at the right time, at the right place, is powerful. That is, I think, one area where we see AI playing a big part, which will have a huge impact, not just for individual users, but entirely for the organization in building velocity and productivity to achieve your goals.
And one last question, could you share your thoughts on Cypher and what is your impression?
Absolutely impressed. It's really good to actually be at a physical event like after COVID. I think people have been itching for that. We've been seeing this for the last 2 years, but now it feels like, yeah, everyone's here. So that's really exciting. We're very excited to have these conversations with people. And thank you for having us here.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Technology division. Hello, hi, I'm with Vivek Pandyarajan, SVP Product and Engineering Director for Reinsurance Solutions, Technology Division at Swiss Re.
Hello.
Hi, Vivek. Vivek, can you tell me how can businesses and individuals proactively prepare for the integration of generative AI into their daily lives and work routines?
I think it's a very important question. First, I think it begins with acceptance. Acceptance that generative AI here is to help us, is to help the businesses, help the individuals become more productive, become more efficient. And I think that's the start. And by doing that, I think what we have to do is identify routine tasks, identify things that that we probably shouldn't be working on, but probably be working on certain more specialized activities. So once we know those tasks or scopes, we should probably let Gen AI take care of those things.
Are there any ethical or privacy concerns that need to be addressed when coexisting with generative AI?
Absolutely. I think if you're looking at the open sort of source Gen AI tools out there, it's all about maintaining data privacy. So you, as an employee, you have to be very careful that you do not put your company at risk by bringing in ChatGPT or putting in information, confidential information that you hold in your company for your clients, for yourself, for your employers into ChatGPT, because once it goes in, it's not coming out, right? So you want to ensure you do not do that. So being aware of what data is private, personal versus what is public is extremely important.
And can you provide examples of industries where generative AI is already becoming the new normal, and what lessons can be learned from their experiences?
I think most of the companies or most of the industries are at the same sort of journey, sort of life cycle as far as timelines are concerned. And I say that because I don't think any of the industries or any of the companies are starting their journey right now. We are probably evolving from what we used to call 15 years ago as automation, and about 5 years ago what we used to call as machine learning, etc. Now we are looking at sort of accelerating the journey in an exponential fashion and getting into Gen AI. So I would say probably retail is slightly more advanced as far as because they have a lot more to give to the end customer. Banking and insurance are probably a little bit more conservative, because of the data confidentiality and data sort of regulations are concerned.
And one last question, could you share your thoughts on your time at Cypher?
Absolutely. So this is my first experience at Cypher. I think this is a very bold move for the organization to sort of pull forth, and I think all of you should give a tap at your backs, because to pull a crowd like this and to pull in so many speakers. I've been to all the halls, pretty much each of the halls are full packed, and you have some great speakers lined up, and pulling this off for literally for 3 days is a huge feat. I'm sure you'll be back with much bigger agenda next year. So kudos to the team.
Hi, I'm with Raghav Gupta, co-founder and CEO at Futurance Technologies. Hi, Raghav.
Hi.
Raghav, can you tell me what key skills and strategies do you recommend for individuals to future-proof their careers and remain competitive in the job market?
Sure. So my understanding is very simple. That whatever you are doing, you have to be extremely domain-centric. You have to be extremely specialized. So rather than saying a tool, technology, I'll just say figure out that domain, figure out that niche, and go very deep in it. Because that's the only way you will be able to solve more complicated problems, and that's how the businesses will look at new jobs, where they'll want a professional to solve more complicated problems.
All right. And could you share some examples of innovative technologies or programs developed by Futurance Technologies that empower individuals to adapt to the changing workforce landscape?
Sure. So whatever we are doing now, we are basically, for example, we are dominant in the analytics and AI job market. So what we do is now all of our talent, be it a data engineer, be it a data scientist, a data analyst, they're all AI assisted data engineers, AI assisted data scientists, AI assisted ML specialist. And when I say AI, it's very simple that they have started understanding logic better, and by understanding logic better, they can leverage AI, they can ask the right questions and get that job done in a more efficient manner. So that's all we are doing, showing them the art of prompting.
And how can educational institutions and businesses collaborate to ensure that workforce development aligns with the demands of automation and emerging technologies?
I think the answer is very simple that having a 4-year degree, according to me, might not be the most efficient thing of a person's time. It should have a combination of like industry, then academia, industry, then academia. Like I'm giving a very generic answer, but what I'm trying to say is that it cannot just be academic. Right now, all educational institutes are just academic. They don't integrate industry in the real manner. They just integrate for a fake project. You have to really, really integrate it by making them really do jobs. And because of automation, because of prompting, a lot of young people can also start contributing in the early parts of their career.
Okay, all right. And one last question. Could you share your thoughts at your time in Cypher and what do you make of
As
it?
always, this is amazing, and the scale this time is at a different level. I feel as if I'm in the Bay Area. This is some tech crunch. I don't know what's going on. So I think this is a fantastic scale of the event, and very, very honored, very, very happy to be a part of this.
All right, yeah. Thank you.
We have Geeta Ramadevi, Senior Director of Data Engineering Teams and Site Leader at Elsevier Bangalore. Geeta, how is Elsevier leveraging AI capabilities to unlock and harness scientific knowledge in ways that benefits researchers, scientists, and the broader academic community?
Yeah, Elsevier has a lot of research knowledge with us using our existing research publishing workflow. And also we are combining with the plethora of databases and knowledge bases that we have from the content partners, and using those two, we blend them and we provide meaningful insights to our customers. We are using a lot of technologies, advanced technologies like NLP, data science, machine learning, and in our AI we have advanced AI like generative AI and extractive AI. So put together, we take the raw data from our customers and provide meaningful insights to them using our all the different products that we have with us.
Okay. Could you provide some examples of AI solutions that have been developed by Elsevier Technologies to enhance the accessibility of scientific information for users?
Yeah, to be specific on the research area, almost all our products, what we have developed, uses AI there, and some of them are using advanced AI. Looking at the AI, I must talk about the Journal Finder is one such product, and we have Scopus. Again, there also we use a lot of these AI techniques. And recently we have released the Scopus AI, which is a generative AI based application. So these are the different products that are helping our customers to retrieve more meaningful research information and also help them at every step of the research process that they are going through, from the publishing, from the starting point of starting an article till publishing it. There are multiple steps, like editorial manager is there, which tries to provide recommendations of who are the right editors for reviewing the content. And also we have one more product which is really talking about how the author would know which is the right place for publishing this article. So there are different products we have which are really helping those researchers to make their research more successful.
Okay. What role does the Bengaluru Tech Hub play in advancing Elsevier's efforts to merge scientific knowledge with AI technologies?
So Bangalore Tech Hub, with respect to Elsevier, I would say one of the very important tech hub because there's a lot of focus in growing this tech hub very fast, very quickly because it started in 2021 with just 15-20 people, which was through parity acquisition, and by now we are 300, which is a significant growth in 2.5 years, and we also have projections to go till 500 in the next year. So coming to how we are helping the company about this, whatever the goals, right? All the three core businesses, like I talked about health, we have research, and we have life sciences. All the three have very good presence in Bangalore. We are working on the products, like Scopus and all, and we have data engineering team is there, who are delivering data platforms and so on. We have a health area where we are working on clinical key care plans and that kind of a products. SE also we use and we work on it here. And in the life sciences area, we have Reaxis team working here. So all the products are having the presence in Bangalore, and we are trying to see how these teams can independently develop and deliver features and products to our customers. So it's a very important tech hub from the Elsevier's perspective.
Last question. Could you share your thoughts on your time at Cypher and what was your impression of Cypher?
This is my first time at Cypher, even though Elsevier was there last year. I couldn't come that time because I was traveling somewhere. This is the first experience. I must say it's wonderful because the sessions are very relevant, and the timing of the sessions also I felt very good because, example of my topic, I was thinking before I was coming today whether data, knowledge, lot of keywords I'm going to share there, and will they understand? But luckily the previous sessions were helping them, they were giving some insights there, so with that I was more confident that okay, whatever I'm talking, it would really connect to the people there. So that way I really liked it, and I'm enjoying this Cypher 2023.
Thank you. Thank you for